If you're a government contractor, you already know what a headache CMMC compliance can be. So today, we're going to dive into a tool that's designed to fix a huge problem, bridging that often painful gap between your compliance experts and your development teams. So, does this sound familiar? You've got your compliance team over here, living in a world of governance frameworks and security controls, and then you've got your engineers, who are deep in the trenches with sprints and tickets inside Jira. It honestly feels like they're speaking completely different languages, maybe even operating on different planets. This disconnect, it isn't just a feeling. It's a real problem with a name. So let's break down what the source material calls the compliance development gap and really see where all that friction is coming from. And this slide, well, it just nails the definition, doesn't it? It's this fundamental workflow disconnect. One team is using their special GRC, that's governance, risk, and compliance, tools to track all the security requirements. The other team, meanwhile, lives and breathes Jira. And that space in the middle, that's where all the time, money, and sanity gets lost. And this gap, it creates some very real everyday pain points. I mean, think about it. You're manually entering the exact same data into two different systems. Your compliance folks are constantly chasing down engineers for status updates over email or Slack. It's just a perfect recipe for siloed teams and a ton of inefficiency. So, what's the real payoff for fixing this? Well, the potential impact is staggering. According to the source, we're talking about a 60 to 80% reduction in all that manual coordination overhead. I mean, just imagine what your teams could actually get done with all that time back. They could focus on real security, on innovation, not just paperwork. So how do you get that 80% of your time back? Well, that brings us right to the solution, a dedicated Jira and Confluence integration that's specifically designed to bridge these two worlds. The idea here is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. It creates a true bidirectional link. Now that's the key word right there, bidirectional. This isn't just a one-way data dump, it is a two-way street. When a compliance task gets updated, it instantly reflects in Jira. And when an engineer closes that Jira ticket, guess what? The compliance system gets updated automatically. No more manual work. Okay. A two-way sync sounds great in theory, but how does it actually work? Let's take a look at the two core functions, syncing all those active tasks and publishing the key documents. This slide breaks it down perfectly. Just think of it in two parts. Over on the left, you've got the Jira sync. This is for the live, day-to-day work, things from your plan of action and milestones, your POA&M. Then on the right, you've got the Confluence export. This is for all the formal stuff, like your system security plan or SSP, that needs to be published for everyone to review. All right, let's walk through that first part, this sync. Just imagine for a second you're a compliance manager. You've got this whole list of technical tasks that engineering needs to complete to meet a specific CMMC control. So inside your compliance tool, here's your plan of action and milestones, which is basically your master to-do list for CMMC. You can see items here like implement MFA or establish incident response. Now, instead of exporting all this to a spreadsheet, you just select the items that are ready for the dev team to start working on. And here is where the magic happens. Once you've selected those items, you're not exporting a file or drafting some long email. Nope, you just point to the right Jira project, click sync, and that is it. Those compliance tasks are instantly turned into native Jira tickets right where the engineering team is already working. Okay, so that takes care of the active day-to-day work. But what about all that formal documentation? The stuff that auditors and stakeholders absolutely need to see. Well, that is where the second part of this integration comes into play, publishing directly to Confluence. And the process is just as simple. From your compliance dashboard, you can see the status of all your key documents, your system security plan, your policies, you name it. When a document is ready to go, one click publishes the latest version to a shared Confluence space. No more emailing outdated PDFs around ever again. So we've seen how it works, but what does this really mean for the teams on the ground? Well, by connecting these systems, you're not just moving data around. You are creating a single source of truth that benefits absolutely everyone involved. This really does break it down into a clear win-win-win. For the compliance team, they get real-time visibility into what's actually being done. For the development team, they get to stay in Jira, their home base, without having to do all those manual status reports. And for leadership, they get a clean, unified dashboard of progress, which makes audits and planning so much easier. All right, at this point, you might be thinking, this sounds great, but it must be a total nightmare to set up. Well, let's quickly walk through the 5 steps it takes to get from zero to sync. As you can see, it's a 5-step process that's really designed to be straightforward. You securely connect your Atlassian account, you kick your instance, you set a few preferences, like how often you want it to sync, you map your requirements to the right Jira projects, and then you run that first sync. The whole goal here is a quick setup, not some painful multi-month project. And this right here, this quote really gets to the heart of why this all matters. It is about so much more than just saving time. As the source material puts it, the goal is to transform CMMC from a documentation exercise into an integrated part of your engineering culture. It's about making security a natural, visible part of how your team builds things, every single day. So, there you have it, a seamless, automated bridge between two absolutely critical teams. The only question left is the one right there on the screen. Is your organization ready to finally close that gap?